Hi, Bill and David from 520 Sports Talk here upstairs in the loft at Johnny Gibson's Downtown Market, right on 6th Street between Congress and Broadway. If you're in the area, come on down, join us upstairs. Normally we have our show under the stars, but with the cooler weather, we decided to stay warm tonight, and we are up here in the loft. We thank Johnny's Gibson's. They always lay out the red carpet for us, and we do appreciate that. Just going over a few of our sponsors here. Sparkle Cleaners, welcome aboard. This is the third or fourth show that we've had Sparkle Cleaners, all 11 locations. They've been around since 1961, so right there, if you've been doing your laundry at Sparkle Cleaners since 1961, you definitely know what a good job they do, and no business would be still in business if they didn't do a good job. Right now featuring home and business pickup, so you can take your dirty clothes, your dry cleaning to work, you can leave it at home. They will pick it up. They'll deliver it back all folded in plastic, all that good stuff. What's not to like about that? So definitely you can go to sparklecleaners.com and set up a pickup and delivery date, or just drop it by one of their 11 locations. Vibe Energy Bar. Vibe is our corporate sponsor. This energy bar has hit the market like gangbusters. Those of you who are Red Bull fans, who are Monster fans, get off that crap. It'll give you a heart attack. Go to this Vibe Energy Bar. It's all natural. It's sweetened with agave, so if you have a vegan diet, it fits right into your diet, and you're not compromising anything on that. I eat them every day because I'm not one to really have a lot of energy when I wake up, and it lasts 5 or 6 hours. I'm ready to go once the morning starts. It's really, really a good product. They're going to be coming out with some new energy bars that are going to be condition-specific. High blood pressure, diabetes, PTSD, and they're also going to come out with another flavor very, very soon. So go to vibeinfusion.com, and you can get the latest and greatest news from the Vibe Energy Bar people. So we thank them for that. Frog and Firkin at University Main Gate Square. Garrett and Jody do a great job. We had a show last week with Pueblo girls basketball. Frog and Firkin's always something going on, whether it's our show, whether it's karaoke, it's trivia, it's live music, obviously sports every day, all day long, all night long, 7 days a week. You can't miss going to Frog and Firkin. Voted the best outdoor dining in Tucson by the Daily Star, the best pizza, and they won the best burger in the Main Gate Square Food Festival for their south of the frickin' border burger that has a green chili and an egg on it. It's really, really good. Definitely check out Frog and Firkin. Wings Over Broadway at Broadway and Camino Seco. Don't worry about the construction out there. It's real easy to get in and out off of Camino Seco. The best wings in town, crispy from the first bite to the last bite. Lots of craft beer, IPAs, a full bar, soft drinks from Khalil for the kids. Definitely check out Frog and Firkin, and, of course, always sports on their TV. Bianchi's Italian up in Marana at Tangerine and Thornydale. That's where we do our north side shows. Also remember, if you're by the west campus of Pima, visit the original location at Speedway and Silver Bell for great Italian food. High Wire Lounge right behind us in the patio. Great place. Karaoke, I think, a couple times a week. We use the patio normally in conjunction with Johnny Gibson's Downtown Market. It's a great place to hang out under the stars at High Wire Lounge. And Micha's Mexican Food down south where we do our south side shows and our I-19 corridor teams. Definitely check out Micha's. They're back open from their fire in April. We had the Rio Rico girls basketball team on. They brought the house from Rio Rico, and we definitely appreciate Micha's and them being open again. We'll go over the rest of our sponsors a little bit later in the show. So, Coach, glad to have you and the ladies here with us tonight. You into rugby when you were a player yourself and so forth?
All right. Well, I'm Coach Matthew Quay. I'm the assistant coach, forwards coach for the Lightning. Let's see here. I started playing rugby about 10 years ago. When I got out of the military, out of the Navy, I was used to having a community and a family. I found myself missing that, and I was introduced to the sport of rugby. And instant family, instant community. And if I have to say, that's the best thing I ever found out about the sport of rugby is that the family and the community, just the camaraderie that you have with everybody. So I started playing. I played about 10 years. I started out at NAU up in Northern Arizona, played for them a little bit, and then moved down to Tucson and played with the Tucson Magpies for a while. Then, old age, body wears out. I played. I was a forward, so my body got worn down really fast, really fast. And so once I finished up, I tried to coach the Magpies for a year, and that was a little difficult coaching men, coaching people that you've played with. So the Lightning asked me 2 years ago to come and help them out, and I accepted, and they accepted me, and been coaching them ever since. So for 2 years now. Yeah.
All right. So tell us a little bit about rugby in Tucson. It's catching on. I understand. I understand that there's youth leagues now with the Lions and the Lightning for the boys and the girls.
Right. Yeah. Tucson and rugby in Tucson, it's growing, and there's opportunities out there, all over the place. We have the women here. We have the Lightning women. There's 2 men's teams in town. There's the Lions and the Magpies. And then you kind of have 2 clubs in town. You have Tucson Rugby and Old Pueblo Rugby, and each club offers some youth, some girls, some boys, and then there's a bunch of high school programs in town now too with high schools. And so rugby in Tucson is really growing. So we can play year round. We've been pulling in a lot of big international and USA Rugby events, and so we're making a place for Tucson in the rugby community. Yeah.
Perfect.
Coach, what I'd like to know is what made you gravitate to rugby instead of like football or something like that?
Yeah.
Being here in the United States.
Well, I grew up and I played football in high school. I did the whole football, wrestling, baseball thing. Rugby was just that instant, it was that place for me to, like, I showed up to a practice and they said, oh, this is what you are. They made me feel like, oh, I could be a part of this,
Right.
and I had been interested in it, just traveling overseas and stuff, seeing it in other countries like in Hong Kong and Singapore, stuff like that. I was, really interested in it, and so I just got introduced to it kind of when I came back. So, yeah.
Now, you said that you coached the men's for a little while, and it was just uncomfortable because you knew everybody,
Yeah.
or was it just coaching men you were uncomfortable?
I think it's a combination of both.
So you prefer coaching the women than the men?
I feel like my coaching style fits coaching women a little bit different than
Very
men.
important.
And so, it was one of it was when you're trying to coach your friends, people that I'd played with, that was tough because you get some of them that are like, I'm better than you, or I was better than you, or they don't listen to you. Whereas here, with the women, they listen.
They're eager to learn.
They're eager to learn, right? And that's one thing with this team is that this team is eager to do their job right. So they're always asking questions. What do I do now? How do I do this better? And so they're asking me for that information. And so if I'm able to provide that, then that's great. Whereas I feel like, coaching the men's team, it was always, well, I can do it better this way, or I can do it this. I've always done it this way, or, So it's just a different, coaching technique. I don't like to raise my voice, and so with men, you have to cuss at them all the time and raise your voice at them and berate them. And, I'll do that, but, it's so much easier when and stress-free just being able to communicate the skill. So,
What I noticed, Coach, and this went last year when we had the Lions on the show, and we had them on 2 or 3 times, is the camaraderie between teams. I mean, it doesn't matter who wins or loses. Obviously, you want to win. You're playing to win. But it's like, okay, now the game's over. Let's go have a beer or something. You don't see that in a lot of sports, predominantly in American sports.
Oh, yeah.
Based,
Yeah, no, and that's the great thing about rugby is you kill each other on the field for 80 minutes and you leave it on the field, and after that you go and you share beers together. You eat food together. You know, you go to parties and hang out together. Whenever you travel the world, you run into people that you played rugby with, and you are invited into their home. You know, it's an international community, and so it's just you play it for the love of the sport. You know how you do. Yeah, we all want to win, but as long as we all put it out there on the field, and then we walk away knowing that we battled for 80 minutes, and now it's time to relish in our victory and our hard work. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very amazing because I don't know any sport. I mean, I can go and eat with my opponent if I won.
Right.
But if I lost, I really don't have too much to say.
No, yeah. And, it's one of our rivalries here in town is, the Tucson Magpies versus the old Pueblo Lions. And even after those games, we still go and we hang out, but it'd be like comparison, like you don't see the Red Sox eating dinner with the Yankees after they play a game, so.
One or two, but not team-wise,
right.
like in rugby.
Exactly.
I think that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Half the time you can't get them even to shake hands after the game.
Oh, exactly, right. Yeah. And that one of the big things about rugby is that we teach, and they started this new program, the Engage program, which is for the youth in Tucson. And one of the first things that we always teach them is we teach them respect. So we teach them to respect each other and for sportsmanship. So, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Coach. We're going to get the ladies up
Absolutely.
here. Absolutely.
Thanks, Coach.
Definitely have
Thanks, Quay.
some more questions for them.
Thanks, Quay.
We got 2 more seats over here.
I can scoot down.
So while we're changing up real quick, let me just run by some more sponsors. New Stitch Embroidery at 3114 South 12th Avenue. They do our shirts, they do our hoodies, our caps. We're going to come out with a new line of T-shirts coming up for the summer months. It may have been cold last week. It might have snowed on the ground, but before you know it, it's going to be blazing hot. So we're going to come out with a line of 520 Sports Talk T-shirts with our brand new logo on them. So be ready to watch the website. Pearson and Troy will take care of that. When you want to order, let us know, and we will pre-order those for you, so we have different sizes and the amount of sizes, and it's a lot easier to get them to you. The turnaround time, because of the fact that we use New Stitch, will be probably a week or less, so definitely check that out. Chiba Hut, this place rocks. This is the best sandwich shop in the whole town. Nothing's fried except for the occasional customer. So definitely check out Chiba Hut, right across the street from the U of A football stadium, and believe me, you will not be disappointed. Platinum Fitness has 3 amazing locations. 5800 East Speedway is a 24-hour location, so if you're a nurse or you work odd hours, you can still work out whatever time your schedule permits. Other locations are at Ina and Oracle and at Golf Links in Harrison, and we want to thank Platinum Fitness for their patronage. First Heritage Realty, the A to B team. Move the Healthy Way with Brittany Palma. Brittany is a jiu-jitsu athlete. She's a fitness competitor, and she's one of the most amazing real estate people you'll ever meet. Give her a call, 520-270-7958. Oasis Air Conditioning and Heating with David Murrieta. Give him a call. Like I said, it's going to be hot before you know it. Get your heating and cooling all straightened out, 520-648-1755. And last, Jim Miller State Farm. You'll see the red bug outside of his office at Wade and Silverbell up at Continental Ranch. Go bug him for a quote. It's life insurance, auto insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance. Check him out at mymaranaagent.com. Ladies, how are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, man. We appreciate you.
Not a problem. This is going to be a great show. We'll start with you. We'll go around this way. Give us your name and how long you've been playing rugby and what position you play.
Okay. My name's Patty, and I have been playing rugby for like 5 or 6 months, and I am a fullback.
Patty, do you have a last name by any chance?
Duffy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ruby Parks. I have been playing. This will be my 4th year. I didn't find it till I was like 35, but this year I am playing wing, number 11.
My name is Andrea Height. I've been playing rugby for probably about 6 years or so, but this is my 3rd or 4th year with the Lightning. And I play either prop or lock usually.
Okay, we'll get back to that in a second because a lot of people don't know what that is.
Hi, I'm Sierra Gilthorne. I've been playing for maybe 5 or 6 months now with the old Pueblo Lightning, and I'm a prop. So.
All right.
Well, who's the captain of the team here?
This is Jackson. Say hi, I'm Jackson.
Hi, I'm Jackson.
And she plays with Engage, which is youth rugby.
Beautiful.
And she plays with you play with Engage Youth Rugby. What's the name? You don't remember? They were the Bear Cubs.
Engage is a really interesting opportunity here in Tucson. We deal with underprivileged children. It's completely free to these underprivileged kids. They come out. They have a safe environment. We provide them with a shirt, a rugby ball, and it's like touch, so it's safe. They're not tackling or anything. But it's a really unique program. They have like 60 some kids come out there and play.
Yeah, and all kids are kids of all life walks are welcome, but it's geared towards underprivileged, and they get a free pair of cleats, a voucher for a pair of cleats, and all that kind of stuff.
What a great program, because it also gives them something to do, and it makes them feel like they're part of the community. It's like, oh, I can't afford to play softball, club softball, or volleyball, or something like that. That's a really great program. How long has that been in effect?
I would say 3 or 4 years. Yeah, this is the 3rd or 4th year, I think.
Okay.
3 or 4 years. They do a lot of like Pasquayaki tribe. They go out and they have practices out there with a lot of those kids, a lot of the big brothers and big sisters. A gentleman who used to play for the Lions and was the president for the Lions for a long time started Engage. And then when he quit being the president, his name is Matt Schmidt. When he quit being the president, he just kind of went Engage full time. But it's a really incredible opportunity for young kids.
That sounds like it.
What is the age groups for Engaged?
It's from 6 to 18.
Also, adult-ish. Or at least they think they're adults.
Yeah. All the 13 and above are all grown up,
All right, so give us, you said a couple of you guys are props. So tell us, what is a prop?
Go ahead, Sierra.
Well, we are a forward. We're part of a group of 8. Usually we're the forwards. My job, I feel, is a lot of tackling. A lot of tackling is involved in that, but also
with that?
a lot of rucking too, and and lifting, and wherever I need to be for my teammates, that's where I'm at. So
the scrum is the restart, where it's kind of like looks like a huddle.
Talk real close to the mic.
Oh. So scrum is the restart a play that looks like a lot like a huddle.
Right.
And you have the 3 people in the front, 4 people behind them, and then 1 in the back. So you have your 2 props, and then your hooker in the middle,
right,
and then the 2 locks behind them, and then the flankers on the outside, and then you have your 8-man behind the 2 locks.
Now the hooker
and those
is
are
what
the pat.
kicks the ball to either side to gives
ball.
you possession of the rugby ball.
Exactly. When the scrum half puts the ball into the scrum, the hooker hooks the ball back,
Okay.
but then the props, the locks, and the flanks, they drive over the ball to move the ball to the back of the scrum, where the scrum half can get the ball out to the back line or whatever play is called. It's pretty interesting. It's basically 8 people, bent over, driving against each other, trying
Moving
to
in
get, and you
unison.
can take possession of the ball in the scrum. If you're strong enough to overpower them, you can steal the ball essentially.
Now, when I was covering your game on Saturday against Pasadena, and by the way, for you viewers, go to their website. What's the website again? It's
Old Pueblo Lightning.
.com, right?
Yeah.
Pueblo Lightning Rugby.
Rugby, okay. You can get their schedule. Estevan Park's a great place to watch a game. There's bleachers. There's plenty of places to sit. It's good for adults, for kids. Now, when I was watching the Pasadena game, and I've seen this before, but I'm not sure the nuance of it is when the ball is thrown from out of bounds, it's like over your head like you would a soccer ball, but then you lift people up and give them
It's called a line out.
It's more like
Gotta talk in the mic.
it's more like a football snap, but standing up. It's
Right,
more
but-
the motion you're doing.
But what is the purpose of boosting the people up?
Right. So basically, you can either do a back pod or a forward pod. It's a different play call. So you have a tunnel. So there's a team on each side. You can have a minimum of 4 or maximum of 8, and then you can do either a front lift or back lift. So that basically, if you lift in the same spot all the time, it's easy to defend, right? So you can move around. But the ball on the person having the ball throwing in from the outside.
As the ball once that happens, they come down to the ground level, and then you start playing again.
Or they can throw it from above. So while being held in the air, they can throw the ball to their team and get the ball out. So they can either come to the ground or throw it from the air, whichever works.
How many people are on the field per team at one time?
15. Minimum of 12, but maximum of 15. We are 2 games ago.
Or a touchdown.
Try.
A try. Mm-hmm. You have to
touch the ball down,
You
downward
have to
pressure
dive.
down. You don't have to, but the ball has to. You have to be able to show downward pressure on the ball into the try zone. So if you dive, that's wonderful, right? Because then somebody tackles you, you still show you touch the ball. Yeah, but if you go to touch the ball with your hands and somebody hits you and you don't have good sufficient downward pressure, then it's called a knock and you don't get a point. You don't get points.
That's like a fumble.
Exactly, a fumble, but the knock is considered when it goes forward. So I can drop the ball as long as it goes behind me. It's still our ball. But if the ball bounces forward, then we lose possession. There's lots of crazy rules. That's what's so neat about the sport.
It's different. And the thing about it is that when you explain it to me, I don't watch it enough to when you explain it to me, I can go, okay,
I get what you're saying.
To something
right.
like that. But
so it's basically like a fumble. So if you don't have downward pressure in the try zone, it's considered a fumble, and you lose possession.
Yeah, because I noticed that everybody that I've seen when
dives.
They dive and
that's the safest way. It's the safest way.
And
because somebody's going to... inevitably, somebody's going to probably come up and smack the heck out of you.
You can kick through the up. Is it through the upright?
Yeah. So you have an opportunity when you're within the 22. If there's a penalty against your team within the 22, you can do something called kicking for points, and that's where you kick for 3. No, it's off of a tee, and you get 3 points. Or you can also drop kick. You can also drop kick. You can also drop kick during play. It doesn't have to be a penalty. If you're running down and you want to drop kick through the uprights, you can, but it's only worth 3 points. Or a conversion after a try is worth 2 points, and that's usually from a tee as well. But wherever the person scores the try in that try zone, so if they're way on the left side, that's where the kicker has to line up to kick the ball through.
Now, do you have the football team's got a place kicker's got a punter, but does everybody on your team kick?
Oh, no. Okay. God, no. White Lightning. You got to know White Lightning. Our fullback, Alex Rath, she's amazing. Last year, she had more points on our team than anybody else, and she only scored 1 try. All the rest of them were from kicks. She's incredible.
All right.
Platinum blonde. She plays number 10.
Mind-boggling.
It's so...
Come out and play with us, my friend.
No,
you might like it.
Yeah,
you might like it.
I don't think it would be a good idea. But I do think it's exciting. And especially once you grasp all the things that you're trying to say, because
then you know what's going on.
I went out to the park and watched them, and when you don't know what's going on, it's
you're
hard
like,
to
what
enjoy
is going
anything.
on? Yeah, for real. But you must admit it's still intriguing. You're like, what is going on here?
Well, anytime you can hook up with a bunch of women would be nice.
That's true. And beer, and there's always beer. Beer and women, it's like a home run.
I think I really, once I grasp it, I think I would like it because it's very similar to football with the soccer twist, which soccer is okay, but I understand football inside and out.
Well, football, the touchdown came from rugby. The touching the ball down in the try zone is where that concept of touchdown came from. But yeah, it's similar. It's full contact. The difference is we don't wear pads.
Everything in life evolves to greater. Right. See, so like, I don't ride a horse just because I get in a car because it evolved.
Right, I feel you.
That's the difference.
I feel you. Well, multiple women on this team actually played women's semi-pro tackle football here in town on the Tucson Monsoon. I played, Andrea played, Stevie all played for the women's semi-pro.
You guys can tackle me anytime you want. I'm willing to accept.
All right,
that.
well, we're going to have you as one of our dummies for the next game. And don't say you didn't offer, because I got you on tape.
You're live on Facebook.
You're live, buddy.
So let's talk a little bit about scoring. In football, it's 6-1 for 7. Touchdown, 6 point, you get an extra point, or you can go for 2. Now in rugby, it's 5-2, but it still comes out to 7. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so is an extra point? I don't know what you guys call it. The point after.
Conversion.
Okay, is a conversion like in up until a couple years ago when the NFL kicked it from the 10-yard line? It was almost automatic. It was like a layup in basketball. If you miss it, you're going to get all kinds of hell, for your teammates and your coaches. But your conversion in rugby, like you said, it has to be on an angle wherever the try was made. So it's not a gimme.
No. And actually, when you try and score a try, it'd be nice for your kicker if you could get him in the middle. But there's sometimes where you just can't do that.
So that's the goal, is you try to get it in the middle.
Right under the upright is the goal when you're scoring a try.
Now, do you have to score a try between the goalposts, or that's okay?
Just past the last line, right?
Exactly.
Just like is it called an end zone?
Exactly.
Okay.
Try zone.
Try zone.
Okay.
When's the next practice?
Next Tuesday. We have a week off because a bunch of us made the All-Star team, the Southern California region All-Star team, and so we're traveling to Vegas this weekend to play in the Invitational, the International Invitational.
You guys practice at?
We practice at Rito from 6:30 to 8:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay, you might have a surprise little.
Yeah, come on
Yes,
out. We
out
got a free tackling person. I'm just messing
If
with
I
you.
was under
I'm just
50,
messing with
if I
you.
was under 50,
I'm just messing
I'd
with you.
take you up on it. But after 50,
You look like you'd be a good forward. I think you could
Yeah.
come hang out with us over here.
You might dig
Can
this.
we work together?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey.
You're going to have to wear the suit, though.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about the suit later. Okay. All right. So, tell us the difference between playing with 15 and what you call sevens.
I haven't played sevens yet, so
Obviously, 7 is 7 people on each team. It's probably a lot wider, a lot faster.
Yeah, so it's the same size field, but you only have 7 people. So your scrum, instead of 8 people, is 3 people. So you just have your 2 props and your hooker versus the other 5, and then you still have your scrum half and your fly half, and then a couple backs. Oh yeah, and then we play 40-minute halves in 15s with a halftime, and then in 7s you play 7-minute halves.
Okay.
So it's just nonstop for 7 minutes.
Is 7 more gear? I'm sorry, Dave.
That's 14 minutes to 80 minutes?
Yeah.
But we play 80 minutes.
But it's the same size field with.
No,
It's
I
the same
understand,
size field, but
that's
it's
drastic
a fast person's game.
That's what I was going to say. Is it like for skilled players?
Players don't really play that.
And I can relate to this thing.
It's for girls like Tatum over there.
Tatum?
In Sydney.
And
Oh, wait till you meet Sydney. She runs like the wind. She doesn't talk, but she's the rugby equivalent of David Adams in football.
We also have a visitor name here. Her name's Sio. She's from Mexico. She plays in Mexico. They partnered. Tucson Rugby partnered with the sister cities down there, and our team traveled down and we played 10s. But they actually have a 7s team. She'll be over here to talk to you guys a little bit later about it. But I think she's playing with a bunch of her Mexico people up in Vegas as well.
Sure.
7, 10, and 15?
Yeah, 10s
And
is
12.
No 12s. 12 is just
12's
the
only
minimum.
3.
12's the minimum you can have at 15.
Show up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And 10s is more of like a tournament season kind of thing, and that like between September and December we do a tournament season where we're trying to bring up all the rookies. New people are learning rugby, so we kind of mix in rookies with veterans, so it's more of a learning experience.
Gotcha.
Whereas the 7s is basically the super fast people, and then 15s is what we play. Powerhouse, right? You got your powerhouse, forwards, and then you have your really fast backs, and then all your your different play calls.
Say a play.
Johnny Alpha White. That's all you getting because we can't give up our plays on this, brother.
I
No, I'm
just-
kidding.
I just wanted
Too many people watching. We gotta win. No.
to hear what a play sounded like. 'Cause
Oh,
Okay.
It's kind of like
Johnny
Big
Alpha.
Manning in Omaha.
yeah.
No. This is really, it's very intriguing to especially learn something new and halfway understand it and half not.
It's a killer sport. It really is. I mean, I played sport my whole life, and when I found this, I'm like, man, I wish I would have found this when I was a kid. Like I literally have no desire to play any other sport. Now, I don't know how long I'll be able to play this sport, but
Well, I'm watching you I've watched you 3 or 4 times now, and everybody has fun.
oh my God, it's a blast.
Yeah, it's like you're smiling. I mean, you might be muddy and blood coming out of you, and you're still smiling.
Well, you know, that's the thing about this team in particular. Like, I played on many teams, but this team in particular, we win, and we like to win. But let me tell you something. We're on that field, and everybody makes mistakes. We make mistakes. We are not mean to each other. We are kind. We are uplifting, and we are kind to the other team. Like, we are known as the nice team, which is bizarre because we beat everybody's booty. But literally, we are nice to each other. We are nice, and I've met so many teams that just people aren't necessarily nice, you know. But this team, people rally on each other. You know, if you got something going on in your family, they show up for you. They are there for you. It's a really unique team.
Now, is that kind of an Arizona thing? Because the games I went to, you played Pasadena, and then last year in the playoffs, I believe you played San Fernando Valley.
Las Vegas, we played.
No, San Fernando Valley was the home game. Yeah, Ventura didn't show.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Scarfoo Championship.
2 full games
No, the
that I
one here,
think we
playoffs.
even live streamed the San Fernando Valley game. But is it an Arizona thing being nice, or is it just a
I think it's an old Pueblo Lightning thing.
okay? So
For
it's
sure.
It's not like sport wide where.
No, I think rugby in general, sport wide, is they have better etiquette. They are more respectful. You know, when you're on that pitch, if you don't agree with the sir, it doesn't matter. There's only one person that speaks to the ref, and that's your captain. So you keep your mouth shut. It doesn't matter if you agree or you disagree. You don't be disrespectful on the pitch. It has a real old school feel about it. You know, they don't want you cussing. They don't want you. They don't. You know, there's no. Other than the violence from the sport, there's no. You know, there's no. If you physically.
Extracurricular.
Yeah, if you punching people, I mean, you're out for the season. I mean, they don't tolerate that kind of behavior, and so
there's
it is.
yellow flags and red flags like there would be in soccer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure about the soccer piece, but yellow cards. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you also call the ref a sir, so like
Male or female?
Male or female. Or ma'am. I mean, you can call her ma'am, but we usually call him sir.
And you have to. What? So you disagree with somebody, sir? I was really.
Well, you know, I mean, I played football for years, and you know that concept that, you know, people, you know, yelling at the ref like, that was a horrible call, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Yeah, I
No,
understand.
none of that. No, we don't do that. Because the sir
darn.
will literally say, you're out of here.
Gosh
You're
darn it,
done.
that was a
You
bad
are
call.
done. Like, there is no, yeah.
That's what you
Oh,
gotta do.
No, you don't say nothing.
you say zero.
Just look at him with a
You walk away,
people.
and if you don't like it, you talk to your captain, and the captain can't complain about everybody that everybody complains about. They have to determine what's really
Pick your
legitimate.
battles.
Exactly. What is a legitimate argument to say to the? And it's not even an argument. It's like, hey, sir, can you please watch that prop in the scrum? She's turning sideways. Or, hey, sir, there's multiple high tackles. But guess what? That's all you get. And if they don't like it, they don't like it.
You said the captain could bark at the rest.
Well, the coach ain't supposed to be yelling from the sidelines, but
That'd be
But-
very difficult.
yeah, but that doesn't always happen.
I couldn't gosh darn it if it's a bad call. And holy jeez and oh no, oh god.
It's been certainly a
Gee,
learning
Wally.
experience.
That's,
Yeah,
that's giving me more of a headache than trying to understand it. Just knowing that.
knowing you can't scream at them when they mess up.
Oh, woo.
So there's no trash talking between teams.
Well, I mean, we have played a few teams that trash talk us, but we don't. Like if we hear a player trash talk another, we grab them. We just say, "Keep your damn mouth shut. We're here to do a job. What's next? What's next?" Right? We don't do that. That's not what we're here to do. That's just the way we roll.
I mean, 80 minutes of running, I ain't got time to try.
We can't breathe, much less speak.
Speaking of, what do you do conditioning-wise? 1, to get your wind. 2, to keep your strength. I'm assuming because a lot of it's leg work, especially in the scrum. You would probably, I would think, lifting weights, squats, that type of thing. What's a routine for, let's say, for somebody that plays your position as opposed to somebody that plays your position? What's your workout routine to stay in shape?
Well, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors. So CrossFit Milo, we partner with CrossFit Milo every September, October, and they give us a killer rate for all of our players on the team. And so they can go to as many classes as they want, and we just do a lot of CrossFit workouts. You know, you're doing deadlifts, squats, bench, overhead presses, cleans, you know, all of the Olympic lifts to basically prepare our bodies. Outside of that, we have somebody called Body Central who we partnered with here in town. I played softball with the owner many moons ago, but they do a killer job. They come out to our pitch once a week, and they run an hour of agility training, and then they come to our home matches and provide physical therapy to they tape us. If we have any injuries on the pitch, they come out and help us. But aside from that, everybody's got to be in shape.
And Body Central, if you're watching, I got that meeting with you on Thursday to get you on our sponsorship list.
Body Central's amazing. They've really outdone themselves. I'll let Andrea and them. I'm playing back this. I'm playing back this year, but I'm usually a forward. So I'm gonna. Here, you got something to say?
I just want to give you a high five. Yeah.
High five and give me the mic.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm very impressed. There's some things that I probably couldn't quite pull off if I play. I mean, I think it's important when you do something to somebody that you kind of mention it. I think that's important. If you lay somebody out, you might want to say, take that.
Oh, yeah.
Take
You're
that.
welcome.
No, you can't do that.
You better get comfortable down there because you're going to be there all game.
You literally tackle, roll out, get back up, and line
I
back up and get
understand,
ready for
but
the
I
next
can
one.
roll out and say, take that shit. How
you love me now?
in the middle of my roll, I mean,
goodbye. We are.
Maybe the boys do that.
Yeah, maybe the boys.
There's a little bit of gratification, though, on the sideline when you hear someone go, ooh, like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
get that, and you're like, all right, that was a good one. Get back
I
up and keep
understand,
moving.
But sometimes you gotta.
Sometimes
give 'em a
they need
little-
to know,
you
but they don't. They know.
Exactly. You gotta let them know. So that's
They felt it.
yeah, but it still
They felt
feels.
it. They don't need me verbally
Yes,
reminding.
yes, they do.
Like my
You don't
physical presence
understand.
was enough.
The pain from the hit and somebody tell you about it, that doubles the pain. It's very interesting now. Philosophy that not only this game has, but I think, especially from a female standpoint, because you were just saying that some of the men may say a couple things here and there, which I think is a lot more prevalent in men's sports than women's sports.
Right.
Well, I mean, some of the
Totally.
women's teams we play against, they talk
Let
trash
me have
to
a
us.
little
But
comment.
once we respond to them, they're in our head, right?
I
And we're
agree.
there to be in their head. And the way we get in their head is by scoring on them and scoring on them and scoring on them and scoring on them and scoring on them. And that's all the talking we need to do.
I agree with you, but if I'm playing basketball and I put this jumper on you,
Are you hungry?
it's in the basketball rules. If you look up, shit talking mandatory. So
And there's a test before the game.
Just practice session.
Let me ask you this. I mean, obviously with no pads. I mean, he was a football player. I was a football player. With no pads, what is the most prevalent injury? Is it shoulders? Is it legs? Twisted joints like knees, ankles, elbows?
Probably knees.
Well, what does Body Central work on?
Probably knees and fingers.
Fingers. I didn't even think about
Fingers. I've broken so many fingers already.
Shoulders, too.
Shoulders. We're the
get
GIMP
knocked out
squad.
of
We're
the
the
soccer.
GIMP, we're the GIMP squad that works over here. I just got a nice little shoulder sprain recently a couple weeks ago. Played and still playing through it right now. So
Yeah.
it's definitely a game that's not for everybody. You got to be mentally and physically tough to play.
for sure,
To
yeah.
play rugby and football and soccer to a point too. But some games you can be weak mentally and still be successful for a while till they get to the championship or something.
Right.
But this isn't something that you could do that with the physicality of the game.
We've ran into that, with a few women who wanted to play rugby, but they couldn't play rugby. But again, I go back to that culture of our team is we still try to find something. Like we have there's many ways to serve within the club, right?
Right.
Even if you can't compete or you don't want to compete or maybe you're injured now and you can't compete, we have many board positions or sponsorship things we need help with. Game day, we have multiple things, and so we're welcoming to anybody. Anybody who wants to be part of our family, we'll bring them in.
And bring beer.
Yeah, but they got to bring beer and carry the pads.
And wash the jersey.
All right, so the final question before we switch up groups is probably We usually, when we have kid shows, we ask funny questions. But this one, I want to know, okay, so normally you play on Saturdays, correct?
Saturday's a rugby day.
Okay, so Sunday you're sore. What happens Monday when you go to work? I mean, you're still probably sore. You can't just be sore for one day.
Just go to work.
I mean, you're like hobbling in, and it's like,
Last time I checked, I still got bills.
So-and-so-
Go to work.
So-and-so played rugby on Saturday. You're limping in, or your fingers at a 90-degree angle, or
cut or a black eye or something crazy on your face.
what's the perception that your coworkers who know you play rugby, what's the perception of them when you walk in, like you said, with a cut over your eye or a broken finger or whatever injury may occur?
Mine are used to it.
I
Just say you had a game Saturday, huh?
yeah. I had a black
Win.
yeah.
There you go.
Was it worth it? Yes.
I had a black eye and had my arm in a sling and was seeing patients, and a lot of them asked if I was okay after I saw them. So, yeah.
You're seeing me, and you look like you're worse off.
Yeah.
I'm a scoutmaster for a new girls troop through the Boy Scouts of America, and like my second meeting, I had this big old gash on my nose. I'm like, you guys, I may show up with bruises and scratches. I want you to know I'm not being abused by anybody. I sign up for this. This is what I do for fun.
I'm being abused, but it's legal.
I'm signing up for it. You should have seen the other
That's
girl.
our definition of fun on the weekends.
Exactly.
That's interesting. I got an off-topic question. They just said that the girls can join the Boy Scouts now?
Well, so it's not integrated, right? So you're meeting separately, but you can do events together and such. But the girls can now be delivered the same content. The girls can achieve an Eagle Scout. The girls can go backpacking. The girls can do, learn all the skills that the Boy Scouts taught for all these years.
So that's what they were trying to get to? I thought they could be integrated.
No, that's not the
still
teaching.
separate?
The teachings from BSA is not integration, not full integration. They
just
meet
equal
separately.
opportunity.
Exactly.
Okay, all
it's
right.
not integration. It's equal opportunity.
So you couldn't be an Eagle Scout as a Girl Scout before this? Is that
Girl
what you're saying?
Scouts didn't have Eagle Scout. No. Are you talking about the Girl Scouts? Because
Yeah.
the Girl Scouts and a girls troop BSA are different.
No, the thing that they just said, the Girl Scouts can join the Boy Scouts now.
Yes, they can. But prior to that, no.
You couldn't be an Eagle Scout.
No.
No.
No. And nor is the top rank of the Girl Scouts treated with the same respect from the military entities or anywhere that as an Eagle Scout,
Okay,
right? As
so-
an Eagle Scout, I could maybe go to West Point. As an Eagle Scout, I'm going to join the Army as a specialist, or I'm going to, it gives me an upper hand. And when you see that on a resume, you're like, man, that kid has been dedicated for a very long time. The Girl Scouts, unfortunately, just did not have that same respect in the community. And now the girls
majority
have
of
an
people don't
opportunity.
know that.
Right.
That's
What
the
they
truth.
think that they were just, now these girls want to be in the Boy
No.
Scouts. That's what I thought. I
There's
was
a
like,
community.
I didn't even understand
Well, not just
it.
that. The things the Boy Scouts learn were just it's different than what they
It's
were.
like survival type stuff.
Oh my
too.
God! Yeah. On my first meeting, I taught knife safety.
Right,
Like we're swinging axes and
your
hatchets
wolf
and
badge,
knives.
your bear
And,
badge and all these
girls
badges.
haven't got that in girls. Yeah.
I made a sit-upon, so.
Right. Sewing and cooking and stuff.
So being a scoutmaster, do you talk to your girls about rugby?
No. I mean, if they have questions, I'll answer them. I'm not there to recruit.
Okay.
But my daughter is a girl in the scout troop, and so she may talk to them about rugby. But
Beautiful.
yeah,
All right. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
We're going to get
Thank
the
you.
guys.
four up. Very, very informative.
Thank you very
And we
much.
Appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Okay, so while we're changing up, we're going to finish up with the sponsors. Tuller Trophy, and I'm excited about this tomorrow, David, because I'm picking up both boys and girls Player of the Year awards for basketball, for girls basketball, for boys basketball. We will be going to the respective schools. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag because the coaches know who won, but they were sworn to secrecy in those particular schools. I can tell you that they are both TUSD schools, and we will have the girls winner and the boys winner for Player of the Year for basketball. Her high school color trophy generously gives us like a $200 crystal trophy for both boys and girls, and it's really fabulous. And we're going to make a live presentation to both the boy and the girl Player of the Year. So thank you, Teller Trophy. Simply Noted LLC with Ricky Elmore. Ricky Elmore was a linebacker for the U of A. He now has this business where he mixes modern marketing techniques with social media with an old school personal touch. They write handwritten notes. They send them to businesses. Can we do anything to help you grow your business, to enlarge your footprint, to get your sales, to drive your sales upward? Believe me, that handwritten note still goes a long way in this day of age of social media and computers and whatnot. So go to simplynotedllc.com if you want to know more about it. Tucson Speedway. Tucson Speedway is our friend. They're going to have a 520 Sports Talk NASCAR race in honor of us. The charities are going to go to the Tucson Fire Foundation, which I'm retired from, and it's going to be a great thing. If you want to take your family out and not break the bank, starting next month in March, they will start their season at Tucson Speedway. Sometimes the races are on Friday, sometimes they're on Saturday, and sometimes they even carry over to Sunday. Definitely check it out, TucsonSpeedway.com. Arizona Lending Specialist with Mo the Mortgage Lady, and we love Mo. Believe me, team up with her and Brittany. Let Brittany sell you the house, let Mo do the mortgage. She's a percent to a 1.5% lower than your Novas, your SunStreets, your big companies. You're going to save a lot of money with Mo, the Mortgage Lady. Get a hold of her at 520-510-6698. And she also does the calligraphy for our Player of the Week awards in the high school games, whether it's football, basketball, softball, or anything like that. Last but certainly not least, and he's around here somewhere, Catalina Auto Recycling. Why buy new when used will do? And I'm a firm believer of this because I have two vehicles, and I've gotten parts and different things for both my vehicles, and believe me, it saved me a buttload of money. So you definitely want to do that. And like our producer Pearson says, recycle or die, right? All right, so we thank you, all of our sponsors, because without you, obviously, we would not have a show. Ladies, welcome. All right, thank you for your patience. So we had a great time with that first group, and I'm sure we're going to do the same with you. Starting with you, give us your name and what position you play and how long you played rugby.
Yeah, so my name is Xiomara. I'm the Mexican one that we're talking about. So I come all the way from Mexico. So I played a few positions. I'm a scrum half, and I'm usually a back. So those, I think they already told you the position. So
Sure.
Basically, I'm from the ones that run a lot. They're on the back. Like, I'm not the strongest player. I run.
You got to play to your strengths.
Yeah, and I've been playing rugby for 4 years.
Mm-hmm. Hi, I'm Claudia. This is my second year playing rugby, and I play hooker and scrum half.
And you're on the youth team, right?
Yeah, I'm on the youth Roosters team. Yeah.
Okay.
And my name's Judy Gramajo. I am an inside center, so I'm one of the backs too, and this is my third season playing rugby.
My name is Tatum Hale, and right now I'm playing outside center majority of the time, but I've played a lot of different things in the back line and even a little bit of loose forward, and this is my 5th year playing rugby.
Okay, so we got all kind of skilled position players here. You guys all run fast. Okay, very good.
So, you play with the youth, correct?
Yeah.
And that's was it 6 to 18?
Yeah, it depends on where I'm going. I usually play with the 14-year-olds.
Okay.
So.
And you guys are with the older group, which is just over 18, correct?
Well, we are with the club team. There's U of A also has their rugby sport, so U of A has the women's and men's team, and they are a D1 competitive. They're trying to get to a varsity level sport for collegiate.
We actually had two of the U of A rugby players on one of our first shows when we started 520 Sports Talk back in 2016.
Yeah, awesome.
So tell me, is there a difference between rugby in the United States and rugby in Mexico from as far as competitiveness?
Yeah, a lot. Like, it's a very new sport in Mexico, especially for the women. The women have been playing not more than 10 years, so it's relatively new. And I play for the Mexican national team, and if we play against the U.S. national team, we are kind of a little bit behind. Like, they've been playing more, and also they are the women in the U.S. team are professionals. I think that's the main difference between sports in Mexico and sports in the U.S. The professionalism, like, because rugby is now it's an Olympic sport. Elite 7 is an Olympic sport. The U.S. has invested a lot of money on that, and they get that you have to make it professional, have professional athletes that the only thing that they do is dedicate their time and their effort to the sports. And in Mexico, we don't have that. So all of the women and the men on the national team, we have to have other jobs in order just to, eat, you know?
Sure.
Yeah, and so there's like a really big gap because of that. But we're getting there. We're
It always
working.
takes time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can kind of parallel that with the U.S. is behind Mexico in soccer because of the fact that it wasn't really a popular sport in the United States until probably like 20 years ago.
Yeah, something like that, and it all goes back to professionalism. If you want to play on a high level, if you want to play in the international level, that has to be your job. Like you have to dedicate, like it's a full-time job.
Sure.
So that's what we're trying to build in Mexico. Not probably gonna be soon that we can dedicate or like it will be a full-time job, but at least it's developing, and we're building that, and we're trying to get rugby to the youth, to younger generations. So maybe at some point. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you. What made you pursue rugby instead of softball, cheerleading?
My
traditional girl sports. What made what?
My mom plays rugby, and I like contact more than anything. I'm not that good at tackling since I'm smaller than most of the people, but I like contact.
Do you play other sports? Basketball?
No,
softball?
I used to play soccer for 4 years, but I just started rugby.
And you like
brothers
2
and
years.
sisters?
I have 4.
So you tackle them? for
No.
practice? Oh.
No, definitely not. My sister hurt her ankle last year playing rugby, and my big brother, he plays rugby somewhere else, and my little brother does not like rugby, so.
Fair enough.
Interesting. That's just. I can ask both of you as well. Why rugby? Why not softball, basketball?
So I grew up playing a lot of sports like volleyball, and I did track. I actually did flag football as a kid, and I'd always had an interest in rugby, believe it or not, but it wasn't really an opportunity for me until I got to college and they had a team at the U of A, so I decided to join, and it was just the perfect mix of everything I loved about sports, and I finally got to play a contact sport, so I loved it.
Yeah, and I played so many sports throughout my life, literally every sport in high school. I got recruited for college for soccer, but then once I ended up going to U of A, I guess I just got burnt out with soccer, and I wanted something new, and I watched rugby for the first time on TV, and that really sparked an interest, and I found out that U of A had a team, so then I tried with U of A, and then we played together.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm still kind of boggled because, I mean, growing up in the United States is a little different, you know, where rugby is not a prevalent sport. You know, like the biggest 2 sports in Mexico that I know is soccer, baseball, and boxing.
Yeah.
You know, and up here, like David said, it's volleyball and softball and you know, things like that. So you just woke up one day and was like, I want to be a rugby player? Or?
Basically.
When I got to college, I missed being involved in sports all the time, and I knew I wasn't ready to be done playing sports.
Sure.
And since I finally had the opportunity to try rugby, it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, that's you know, I think the competitiveness never really goes away no matter how old you get. And when you start to look for something competitive, it's not marbles, jacks, and cards just don't cut it.
That's right.
So you're like, you know, I need to hit somebody, I need to hit a ball, I need to, you know, dribble past somebody, things like that to get the juices flowing. And one of the things I've noticed is that pretty much everybody's in pretty good shape. As far as, you know, like in football, there's some overweight people that play football. But everybody seems like they're well conditioned, and that's one of the things I think helps you guys as well, not only stay in shape, but intrigue you to stay involved in sports. Because a lot of people, they stop playing because they get out of shape. So that's a kudos to you guys. That's fantastic.
And I think that's one of the unique things about rugby is that no matter what shape or size you are, every person has a very important job, very important position, no matter how fast. If you're slow, you're probably super strong. If you're fast, you're probably one of the lighter ones, whatever. Yeah. But every position and every body type has that important role, and that's what makes rugby really unique, and the type of people make it unique, and that's why.
There's basically a position for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
So you being, you said 13 or 14?
Yeah.
Do you, like, I know we have a lot of softball teams on, and we encourage people to play above their age because that can only make you better. Is that something that's available in rugby where if you're 13 or 14, you can play with 16 and 17-year-olds?
Not really, because it's based on your age and your weight, and I'm kind of light, but it depends on how heavy you are. So next year, I'm going to be 14, so I could play. By the time the next season comes, I could play with the older people, but since I'm small, I'm going to stick with the 14-year-olds.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm really impressed with you because you're picking this up at a younger age than all of you guys did. So by the time you got, you're in your 20s, then, you're going to be lights out talent-wise because of the fact you can say, hey, I've played for 10 years now.
That's beautiful. I think sports is the most beautiful thing any kid can pick up from a health standpoint, a self-esteem standpoint. I mean, it builds so much character, especially the sports that you play with a team. Tennis, golf, and I like those sports, but it's nothing like team sports that can help you get that feeling.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things about rugby, I play a few sports in my life, but the great thing about this is that everybody involved, even the referees, the coaches, the physical trainers, they have to follow a certain set of values, and you have to follow them inside the field and outside, and that's discipline, respect, integrity, passion, and solidarity. Because I'm also a coach in Mexico, and I think that's, like you say, sports is not only, maybe there's not going to be my girls are not going to be professional rugby players, but if they can be better people by training, learning the values, that's the thing.
When you have the family core concept, it can help you at home with your family, even if you're just a husband or a housewife or a stay-at-home husband, whatever you want to call it. Learning to work with people and everybody doing their strong sport, especially like you guys said, there's something for everybody. That helps you at your house as well. So it's just a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
All you guys going to Vegas?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So everybody seems excited about Vegas.
Oh my
goodness. Is this because it's an all-star event, so it's the best of the best, or what's the draw? What has everybody got ear-to-ear grins from Vegas?
Where do we start?
I have some.
For me, I say it's one of my favorite weekends of the year because of the atmosphere. If you're watching the professional tournament, you're in a stadium packed full of other rugby players and fans for 3 days in a row, watching the best players in the world, just hanging out, and there's really a sense of culture there, and it's my favorite. It's one of my favorite things to go to every year.
Where do you play in Vegas? Do you play in a football stadium or?
So the professional tournament is at the Sam Boyd Stadium, and then there's fields off location where they have the college, the open, the youth tournament. So it's a big weekend event with all levels of rugby.
And are you going?
Yeah, I am. I made the state team this year I made Bobcats. So yeah, I'm going to Las Vegas.
That's beautiful.
I'm really excited. It's apparently like really amazing, and I want to see all the players play. I'm really excited.
You just can't share a beer with the other team.
No.
Don't start.
It's the biggest party of the nation. That's the biggest party weekend, and where else can you do it in Vegas?
I'm a week late because I'll be there the 6th to the 11th for the Pacific 12 women's basketball tournament. But I would love to be able to catch something like that.
And we'll be back in Vegas 3 weeks after this weekend to play against Las Vegas.
And that's just a team.
And that's a game, yeah. Yeah, that'll be our last match before playoffs.
Now, do you guys play 15s and then go have a different season in 7s like the guys do, or how does that work?
I don't know about this club team.
So as far as I know, Lightnings doesn't really participate in 7s right now. I know at the U of A, we used to try to at least go play in Vegas 7s, and we participated in summer 7s at the CRCs for a while, which I think they may be going again this year, as far as I know. So they're going to be going to the college rugby championships in Philadelphia. But we have a budget for 7s on Lightning, and so I think it's a matter of just getting players together in the organization and entering a tournament.
Do you play 7s in Mexico?
Yeah, there's only the national team plays 7s, and the club's teams right now play 10s because we're building to play 15. The plan is that in 2 years the women will be playing 15s in Mexico. As of right now, we don't play 15s, but that's the goal.
Okay. So we're going to give you, especially you, we're going to give you a chance to shout out to anybody. Like this is a worldwide telecast, so whoever you want out there in internet land, here's your chance to shout out.
Yeah, so un saludo para Jalisco, Mimix and Lobos. Those are my teams in Mexico. And to Serpientes, we'll see you in Las Vegas.
At my age, they don't have 15s, so you have to play 7s at my age.
Okay.
But as you get older, you can play 15s.
Sure. And who would you like to shout out to?
No one.
No.
My mom, but she's here, so.
I love your mom.
That's a good one.
Saludos todos los argentinos. Hola y todos los de Australia. And also shout out to Ty Inding from Tucson Sports Institute, who is our basically physical therapist, keeps us all on orthopedic surgeon.
Got to make friends with that if you're in sports.
Oh yeah. He totally keeps us in check right after games and keeping us healthy.
Perfect.
I guess my shout out would just go to the U of A women's rugby team, and good luck with the rest of the season.
All right, great. Perfect. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming on the show. We have learned a lot. I'm very impressed with you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we got one more group. Just a quick program note is the week between March 6th and March 11th, we will not be having any shows. I will personally be in Las Vegas for the Pac-12 women's basketball tournament. We've been awarded media credentials, so I will be coming to you live, not necessarily during the game because the Pac-12 has the media rights, but maybe at halftime, certainly at the end of the game. We will follow the U of A Wildcats, and if you have been following the ladies team this year, they're doing exceptionally well. They're way, way ahead of the curve. These girls bring it every single time, and hopefully they can win a game or two to propel them into the NCAA tournament, obviously, which follows the conference tournament. So look for us in Las Vegas on the 520 Sports Talk Facebook page for a lot of exciting action from Coach Barnes and her Lady Wildcat basketball teams. So do you have a question? Okay. Also, if you, while these ladies are up here, I know that sometimes David and I we run out of questions to ask. If you've got a question that you want to know, especially about rugby, because it's not as prevalent of a sport as some of the other sports in the United States, feel free to put it on the comment page. Our producer, Pearson, will let us know what it is. So, welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Everybody excited?
Yeah.
You guys are all excited about Vegas, I know that. So, we'll start with you, and just give us your name. What position you play and how long you've been playing rugby?
Okay. My name is Brianna. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. Yeah, my name is Brianna. I go by Bree. I play wing with Sydney over there, and I've been playing since October, so not very long.
How do you like it?
I love it. I played soccer for 18 years previously, So rugby's completely new to me. I'm still learning, but I fell in love with it right off the bat.
Cool.
My name is Mariah Sealander. I'm a forward. I play lock, so I'm second row in the scrum. I just started playing in January, but I've played sports my whole life. Played soccer my whole life. Did some other sports too.
Cool.
I'm Sydney. I am the winger. I also play fullback from time to time. This is my 4th season playing. So I started playing when I was a junior in college.
This is the one that broke off that 50-meter run to end the game. I just ran by everybody. There's nobody who was going to catch her.
I try.
Well, you get a lot of tries.
Sometimes.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Summers. Everybody calls me Stevie. I play tight head prop, so I'm in the front row in the scrum, and this is my 2nd season playing.
How do you get Stevie out of Stephanie?
So I guess it was a childhood nickname, but it didn't really stick. I don't know where it came from. One of my mom's friends.
That's going to be the next time I see you, I'm going to ask you that. Maybe they wanted
Say it again?
a son, so they just
started
calling
She was
you.
going to name me Andrew, actually. She did expect a son, but she was going to name me Andrew if I was a boy.
And got Stevie out of all those names. Okay, that's interesting. So, one of the questions that we asked the other group is, what drew you to rugby more so than softball, volleyball, or basketball?
Okay.
Or even from soccer. What was the conversion?
Well, I played soccer for 18 years, but I grew up in Hawaii, and I grew up playing football, like playing catch on the beach just every single day with my stepdad. And I've always been pretty good at catching a ball, and I was told that rugby was basically like football and soccer combined. I don't believe that to be true, but that's what got me to first start playing rugby, and I just fell in love with it. I can catch, and I can kick, and I'm decently fast, so
You're halfway there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a lot of rugby played in Hawaii?
I actually never got the opportunity to play. I wish I did. I always wanted to. I watched the New Zealander guys playing at the park, but I was a girl and they never let me play. So now I have an opportunity.
I know when I was in Hawaii, there is a lot of Kiwis there.
Yeah, there's a lot of Kiwis, yeah. I watched them play, they were awesome, but unfortunately, being a small girl, I was never invited.
Let me ask you this is kind of off the subject and stuff, but living in Hawaii, did you surf?
I attempted. Admittedly, my balance is not great, so I was never very good at it, yeah. I'm better on land.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you remember the question?
I actually had to ask her. Is why rugby over other sports?
Yeah.
Well, I still play soccer.
Okay.
But I don't know. I saw rugby like on TV and stuff, but it was never really a thing because it wasn't a thing where I grew up. I'm from Northern California, and so there was nothing there, and so I played soccer. And then I came down here to Tucson. I've actually lived all over the place, but so I came down here to Tucson, and I met this one, and she's been playing for a while, and I started hanging out with her and hanging out around the team and stuff, and I was like, this looks pretty awesome. Like, I want to play. Like, this is cool. Like, it's like kind of like soccer, but you get to actually hit people.
Yeah.
But it's awesome. It's fun.
Now, one of the things that when I watched the game on Saturday, David, is afterwards they all, they all huddle around, they sit on the grass, and the coach asked each and every player, what was the coolest thing that they did, or what was the coolest thing that they thought about the game that they just completed? And you don't see that in every sport.
Right. Well, we try to say something good that somebody else did, and then something good that we did.
Right.
And it's very helpful, and it helps to build up other people as well as recognizing yourself what you did.
And it also bonds you as a team, I would imagine. Okay, Sydney. Tell us about the run to end the game.
I want to know why she picked rugby over
Why?
Say track or
So I ran track in high school, and
That makes sense.
I always wanted to play football, and I talked to the coach, and he was like, no girls. And then I went to college, and I found out about rugby, and I knew it existed, but I just never had the opportunity to play. And as soon as I found out practice was on Tuesday, I was like, oh, I'm there. So I went and I got my cleats, and I showed up, and I loved it, and I've been playing ever since. And I know I like to run, and I like to hit people. So that's why I play.
It's good enough reason for me.
Yeah.
Now let's talk to Stevie, Janice, Jane, Ellen.
So as Ruby had mentioned, I played women's football with her and a couple of the girls, and I had asked her one night if she wanted to go hiking with me, and she invited me out. She's like, I'm going to practice for rugby, and you should come out. And I actually never ever heard of rugby before. I didn't know it existed. I had no idea what it was. And so I was like, yeah, sure, sounds like fun. Went out to practice and fell in love and just stuck around. And I've just been playing ever since then, which is about 2 years ago. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah,
I would get to use on the run is in basketball. There's a different size ball that the women use compared to the men. Is the rugby ball the same for women as it is for men?
Yes. Yeah, it's the same size. Yeah.
All right, Miss Sydney. Let's talk about the run.
The run. Well, I heard the sir say there was 3 minutes left, and I really wanted to score, and I kind of yelled that to everyone that I wanted to get the ball because I wanted to make another run, and the whole play developed. It was definitely a team try. Everything from as soon as the ball came out, it was just everything just lined up, and then once I got it, I went for it. And I did not want to be tackled. And so I was just like, I'm just going to run as hard as I can to make sure no one can catch me. And it worked, and we scored.
I don't think there was anybody within 10 meters of you, to be honest with you.
I don't think so.
And you can also, you viewers, you can watch the run. I happen to be fortunate enough to film that, and you can watch it on the Facebook page. Scroll down a little bit. You'll see highlights and pictures of the game between the Lightning and the Pasadena Royals, I believe it was, on the Facebook page, and you can actually see Sydney's incredible run, and it's a work of beauty.
Well, Sydney, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to watch the run, but I'll tell you, I love the dimples. That's fantastic. See, I figure you can forgive me since I wasn't watching the run, but
it's okay.
Dimples are very important. Believe me, I love them. That's fantastic.
So let's ask you this. Rugby, and we asked the other girls this, very physical sport. You play on Saturdays. You're sore as hell on Sunday. But come Monday morning, that soreness just doesn't wear off in a day. What's the perception or interpretation that, y'all have jobs, that when you go to work and you're limping, or you got a cut over your eye, your fingers at a 90-degree angle, or I'm sure your coworkers are used to it by now, but what was the initial maybe shock value to when you went into work and
what's his name?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Who beat you up or something like that?
So yeah, I've been single pretty much through rugby, but when I used to play women's football, I would be bruised all the time on my arms and things like that, and going out to breakfast with my boyfriend at the time or whatever, he'd get dirty looks from the waitresses, that sort of thing. I guess with rugby now, when I see clients, they'll ask me sometimes, kind of that, is everything okay? Yeah, are you okay? Everything okay at home? And right, yeah. Obviously, people who know us know what we do, but I feel like, I don't know if you notice looks and stuff in public, but people, stare sometimes, and you know what they're thinking. I love the bruises, though. I think they're great.
Like a badge of honor.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. I think they're so sexy. I'm always like, ooh, look at these war wounds,
I've never heard bruises being called sexy before. So I did learn something.
The cuts, the bruises. It means you worked hard,
bruises, mine's never showed, and I never gave a damn about them, but that's an interesting comment. Sexy bruise. I love it.
That's your new nickname, Stevie.
Yeah, since you've got so many names, we're going to do Sexy Bruises.
Sexy Bruise.
That's perfect.
Well, you definitely have to be tough to play rugby. It's not a sport for the weak. I mean, if you're
Physically or mentally?
yeah, either. It's
Right.
it's just not a sport for the weak. If you're someone who's going to complain about every scrape and bruise, then it's just not going to be the sport for you.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Well, I'm a welder by trade, so I use my body on the daily.
Nice.
Wow.
And so, I mean, I'm constantly bending down, lifting things, stuff that weighs 500-600 pounds. I'm pushing it around. So when I'm at work and I'm like struggle busting, I'm just like, oh man. Like actually yesterday, what's today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, yesterday I had to take off some really big bolts off of a part of a dozer, and it just wasn't happening. Like everything hurt, all my muscles from my shoulders, my chest, everything hurt. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get help.
Well, when I was watching your game, Pasadena had some pretty big gals playing for them. They were pretty physical.
Yeah, and being a forward, I was tackling other forwards.
Sure.
So I was going for the biggest girls on the other team. So I've got bruises like all across my shoulders and my chest,
your
here.
forearms.
Yeah, and then my legs are covered. I mean, I have bruises everywhere.
So you're the sexy champ then, right? I mean,
Right.
Going by her definition.
You can call it that.
Yeah, okay.
But it's pretty funny though when I go into work in the morning on the day after or the weekend after a game, my coworkers are like eyeballing me. They're like, "You don't have a black eye. You look like you're walking okay. Did you break anything?" It's always just like a bunch of questions.
But they know what you do.
Oh, they know what I do. They want to come watch. But yeah, I always get a bunch of questions.
Interesting.
Well, they don't need to ask us because ours are hidden in disguise. So we don't get as much
I'm like,
much drama.
it hurts here. You can't
Oh,
tell,
yeah.
but like,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you can, but.
It takes a lot, but they can touch you in spots, and you know.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, please
You
don't.
win.
I tons of bruises. So, every Friday before a game, like there's at least like 5 to 6 people are just like, okay, be safe. Come back Monday. Please don't break anything. Like come back in one piece, no braces, no nothing. And I walk in Monday. Usually I'm pretty much fine, and they're just like, okay, let's keep it this way.
You know the thing I've noticed of everybody that's came up here, everybody is really, really enjoying themselves. And I like the fact that you stepped out of the box from traditional female sports and really tried something different. Because when you get to be 50, 60, 70, you can say that you've done this. And a lot of people, they don't risk anything their whole lives. And then when they're 50, 60, 70, they say, oh, I wish I would have tried this, that, and the other thing. And you guys are going to be able to at least be able to look back without any sports regrets. You may have some other ones, but not these. And that's a very beautiful thing because I'm telling you, once you get older, you start hearing it. You know, I wish I would have done this when I was younger. Well, now I'm too old, so I can't. And so you guys are very, very lucky to pursue things that you want to pursue, and it's very commendable to everybody that's on you guys' team.
Well, I moved from Hawaii to Tucson in July of 2018, and when I moved here, I knew no one. And rugby has definitely just been awesome in creating community for me.
Mm-hmm.
Rugby is it's kind of like a sisterhood. I guess for the guys, like a brotherhood. I mean, it's like it's like a family. And we have our own community. And long after you retire from playing rugby, you still have that rugby community, which is really awesome.
It's beautiful. And
just everywhere, not even who you play with, just around the world. Someone knows you play rugby, and there's an instant connection.
When you get to when it's been 30 years since you played, and you see somebody, it's like it was yesterday. It's the most gratifying thing from a non-family member that you can, because you know exactly what she went through, whether it was practice, a game. When we have our NFL alumni get-togethers and our U of A, and even my high school ones, it's like, man, it's so good to see you. And you get the war stories that change as you get older.
The legends grow bigger.
It was 10 tries a game that you guys had each, And but it was really 2 it started out, but as you get older, it just gets more and more and more as you get older. And you'll see, because right now you guys are still playing and everybody's still, you see each other all the time. But when you turn 50 and you guys see each other again, it's the most beautiful thing out of a marriage type of relationship or a family that you can experience. And it's just, well, you guys are too young, but when you guys turn 50, I'll be like 119, and then you come and tell me, David, you were right.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I started late. I mean, I didn't start as a child. I started pretty late for starting to play rugby, and I can't imagine stopping anytime soon.
Well, your body will tell you.
Yeah.
You'll wake up one day and they'll say, this is the last season.
I'm hoping that's not for a long time, though.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Play as long as you can, whatever.
I plan on it, yeah.
Even if it's marbles, jacks, ping pong, play as long as you can. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, to close out before we do the shout-out portion of the segment, I don't know where you guys have been as far as you've won a championship, you haven't won a championship, or you've won a tournament. I know you guys have won tournaments, but tell me the number one goal for each of you on what you want to attain as a rugby player before you hang up the cleats.
I want to win nationals.
Okay, that's a good goal.
That's my goal.
That's like Super Bowl, right? Okay.
Yep.
Large goal, big goal. I definitely want to win nationals. Personally, I would love to make a try before I hang up the boots. That sounds maybe like an easy thing. I don't know. I've only been doing it, like I said, 2 years. I've known girls playing, and I started late in the game too. I'm 32, and I've been playing 2 years. So I started when I was 30. I wish I knew about rugby. I would have been playing this, this whole time. I wish I knew about it back then, but. I've known girls who've been playing for 4 or 5 years who haven't made a try, and they're like better than me. So that's one of my goals, and as well as like passing game. I would love to get be like at least 90% of my passing game, because I'm a forward, so I'm used to more crashing and smashing in these things, and I would love to be able to play with the bat because I'm not very good with my hands.
I don't know. I mean, definitely short term. I'm with Stevie. Like, I really want to score a try really bad. And, like, the last game I got pretty close a couple times. And it's definitely, like, a short-term goal. Long term, I'm with Sydney for sure. I'm planning on going to nationals, and I'm planning on winning that.
That's beautiful.
But, I mean, I don't know. As far as, like, longer than this season, I don't know what's going to happen because I'm trying to, like, live an adult life and, like, work and, like, start a family and do things. So, I mean, that kind of stuff takes precedence over sports. But, I mean, just because mostly, work makes money so that I can do any of it. But, I got to have priorities. So, I mean, it's just kind of a wait and see what I can get away with doing.
Well, starting a family is very important in anybody's life, and you can't let your husband carry the baby for the first time while you still play. So,
wife.
I'm trying to figure out a way. If I figure out a way, we'll see what we can do. It'll be a C-section for sure. So, yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Tina is asking what the after-game traditions are. Tina.
Tradition.
Is it teeny weeny, Tina?
More Pete's in a can.
Oh, I would love it. Is that you, Abram? I'm sorry. A question after. So we social. We have a social after the game, which means the 2 teams playing each other come together and basically, eat, drink, and be merry and have a great time and socialize and sing rugby songs and play games. Yeah, there's rugby songs.
You gotta hear a rugby song.
I love the rugby songs.
Rugby greatest hits or something.
You know all the rugby songs.
Let's get her goals before we get to the rugby song.
Oh, yes, goals.
She hasn't told us hers.
Yeah. Well, I would love to win a national championship. I see us winning that this season, so
nice.
Yeah, I'm hoping to make that happen my first season. I scored a try on my first game, but I'm a back, so
Yeah,
we have more
you
opportunity
did.
to score tries. I mean, they're both forwards, so the opportunities are limited. But my long-term goal I'm 5 feet. I'm really small for a rugby player. My position options right now are pretty limited. I would like to hit the gym really hard in off-season, maybe bulk up, get a little bigger so I can have more opportunities at different positions and get a little bit more, time on the ball, opportunities to make bigger tackles.
There's nothing on the planet, almost nothing, I should say, like a touchdown.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you. I mean, that's what hooked me when I was 5. We went to the park and they kicked the ball to me and I ran it back for a touchdown. I knew from then on, this is what I got to do.
Yeah.
It's just ooh. And
Consumes you.
Yeah.
For me, touchdowns, then you get all the girls. So you guys, for touchdown for you get all the guys, girls, whatever the scenario may be. But you get all the attention. I'll put it to you like this. You get all the attention and things like that. I'm not listening to your comments.
Well, that's probably why I fell in love with rugby so quickly was, my first game I scored that try,
funny.
and it was just, off money from there.
There's nothing like it. Nothing.
Yeah.
Because they're so far in between. It's not like basketball. Everybody can make a basket.
Yeah.
Touchdown is not for everybody. True.
It's kind of position specific, like your sport. You don't see too many linemen making a touchdown. They may get lucky and pick up a fumble and and rumble into the end zone, but normally your skill positions, your backs, your receivers, quarterbacks are the one, your defensive backs make the touchdown.
That's basically our job. Yeah.
All right. So shout out time. Anybody, America, the world, wherever you have somebody that you want to shout out, that whether they're in Tucson or not, here's your opportunity.
My dad's been listening the whole time. He's been tuning in. So, hi, Dad. I love you. Nice. Thank you for watching.
Nice.
I'll give a shout out to my mom and my Grams. They're two of my biggest supporters.
I never heard Grams before. I like that.
Grams, I love her. She's old.
Graham, she didn't mean that.
I'll give a shout out to my mom. She loves hearing about my games, but hates to watch them.
We have that in common. My grandmother would never watch me play. I had to call her after every game and let her know I'm okay.
If she does make it to the game, she sits way in the back, so she can't really see anything too clearly. And she's like, "I'm here, but I don't want to see it."
Exactly. That's really cool.
I'm pretty sure nobody in my family is watching.
They can watch it later.
My sisters said that they might, but they're not that supportive because they're just waiting for me to break something.
And then I told you so's come out.
After all the games I've played, they're like, "So what's the injury tally today?"
And speaking of, if you didn't catch this live, we publish it after the fact. After the show is over, it stays on Facebook forever. We also put it on YouTube, and we also want you to follow our other social media outlets. For Twitter, it's at 520 Sports Talk, and on Instagram, it's just 520 Sports Talk. So check out all the different venues for social media that we have, and we really, really appreciate you gals coming on the show. I learned a lot.
Thank you for having us.
And it's just, it's a great sport. I like watching it. I mean, you're the one that invited me to come out and watch it, and you
weren't disappointed.
Exactly. I've learned a lot, and it's just something that is just really intriguing and fascinating to me. And your speed just blows me away. So, so I want to thank you, gals, very, very much. Good luck in Las Vegas, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
We will definitely be following you. So stay tuned to the 520 Sports Talk Facebook page. We'll give you a heads up when Stevie gives me a heads up on when the games are. And be sure to watch this because it's a very, very good sport. And like all the ladies have said, everybody gets along. When the game's over, the game's over. You celebrate, you have fun with the other team. A lot of friendships are made, a lot of camaraderie, not only in your own team, but with other opponents. So definitely check out the sport of rugby. It's an Olympic sport. You got Olympics coming up next year, so that'll give you prime opportunity to go out and watch the Lightning and get ready to watch the Olympics when the world comes together. So once again, we want to thank Johnny's Downtown Market. The loft treated us well. It was warm tonight, a little cool outside, so we're glad that they provided the loft for us. Thank you, Pearson, for bailing us out, and we really appreciate it. We got one more question.
Rugby song.
Oh, the rugby song. That's right. Ruby, you got to come over here and do a rugby song. They won't let us sign
So I don't know if there's actual names for the rugby songs. Saturday's a Rugby Day. Rugby Day. That's one name of the song.
What is it?
Saturday's a Rugby Day.
Saturday's a Rugby Day. I think one of the other girls said that.
They're not all PC.
That's okay. It's an
They're
adult
not all
show,
so PC.
And we're on the internet, so don't worry about PC.
So Saturday's a Rugby Day. Jesus can't play rugby. Oh, the old department store. But the song will have to be a whole, like, there's like Mondays. They do go through the days of the week, and you say what Mondays are, and then and you drink, and yeah,
Do you
they're
have to be intoxicated to sing them, or?
no, not at all.
Yeah,
I don't personally know all the words. Who knows all the words? Come on, y'all.
Okay.
All right, fair enough.
That's true. Yeah.
Rugby song.
Maybe we shouldn't sing it.
Oh, rugby.
Good call, Quay.
Rugby.
Good call, Quay.
We're here to win this game today.
You're welcome to join us for a social. And
well, if you join
and
rugby
don't
and you come to the
videotape
social, you're
us.
going to find out what the song is.
And that's just another reason for you viewers out there to go to the rugby matches because, hey, you learn about the sport and you're going to hear the rugby songs.
It's the #1 fight song in America, so come out and listen.
Once again, we want to thank the Old Pueblo Lightning Rugby Club for coming out and joining us and entertaining us and making us learn about the sport of rugby. Stay tuned for the Pacific 12 Women's Basketball Conference, the 7th through the 10th. I'll be there the 6th through the 11th. I'll probably do some pregame live shows to get you ready for the matchups once the pairings come out. And we definitely want to cheer on Coach Barnes and the Lady Wildcats. So for Pearson, for David, I'm Bill, 520 Sports Talk, Tucson Sports with a twist. It's a wrap.